One of the most interesting things about these agenda reward cards isn't Jaren Jackson Jr. Being probably the better one of the two centers in my personal opinion, but also because of how balanced Jusuf Nurkic is. And that's the thing that we're going to be talking about in this review, guys. What's going on? It's me, Snoops. Welcome back to another video. Obviously, you guys know who I am. You guys are here. You guys have been watching. We are still mash recording, obviously. But this Jusuf Nurkic card is actually pretty fucking balanced. And that's one thing that has interested me when I am looking at this card. So what better way to talk about it and show you guys while I'm talking about it. So anyway, going over to 2kdb.net, as always, you guys know the dealio with that. So we are here talking about Jusuf Nurkic, the pink diamond from the agenda rewards, the last one that you needed to get in order to get Toni Kukoc, which we talked about quite a few times already. Anyway, so what is so interesting about this Jusuf Nurkic, you may ask? Well, we're going to be talking about it right here, right now in this video, because we have the 7-foot center himself with a 97 offense, 97 defensive rating. He can also play the power forward, but let's talk about his stats. First off with shooting, got a 96 close shot, 92 shot mid, and an 88 3-point rating. So taking a look at that with the 86 free throw, obviously, and the 95 offensive consistency, with the lack of shot IQ for some reason, because 2K doesn't know what they're doing with the shot IQ at all, because they give really good players a low shot IQ for no reason when it has nothing to do with the actual stats in the game. So taking a look at this card, obviously with the shooting and taking a look at the badges, you don't have Deadeye, flexible release, or volume shooter. You don't have tireless shooter. You don't have slip drop ball, steady shooter, or clutch shooter. So it's like you don't have two of the major badges that you should have. Deadeye, flexible release. I talk about Deadeye and flexible release very highly on this channel. You guys should know this. I talk very highly of these two badges, especially in the last video where I talked about flexible release and how important that badge was, and also the many times I've talked about Deadeye. So anyway, he's not going to be the best shooter 100%, but I know for sure that he can definitely stretch the floor out, especially with the pick and popper badge, the catch and shoot. Even having hot zone hunter and green machine is very, very nice. And also you'll have the gold range extender, so you can still shoot. Flexible release and Deadeye will definitely help you out with that. But here's the thing about this: he's not going to be a main shooter. He can fade, because he's got gold deep fades right here, gold difficult shots as well, with gold hot zone hunter, obviously. Take out ice and veins, because you don't really need ice and veins in this game at all. Ice and veins is the devil. It should burn in hell. So with that being said, he's going to mainly be the pick and pop type of shooter, and a post fade kind of shooter as well, even though he has a low post fade for having gold deep fade, in my personal opinion. And it's not like I'm going to be using him to do the post up stuff, or at least like do post fades in particular. But if we look at the inside scoring here, and also on next gen, you know, you need blinders on him as well as Deadeye, so that's definitely something different. No Deadeye, no blinders, so you're gonna have to add both of them onto him, and then also anything else that you would want, maybe sniper if that's how you play, but it's all preference pretty much. So going to inside scoring, only an 82 driving layup and 85 standing dunk, as an 85 driving dunk as well, with an 86 draw foul. But he's got a 90 post moves, a 90 post hook, with an 84 post fade in 90 hands. But the inside scoring, obviously you guys see with the finishing badges, back down punisher is gonna be good. They want you to post up with him, like they're wanting you to post up with him. Why? Got the back down punisher, cross key score, deep hooks on Hall of Fame. You love to see that. Drop stepper on Hall of Fame as well. And also he's got Showtime, which means that you can actually get Hall of Fame posterizer for some reason. But also like the badges that come from playmaking to finishing, we're going to talk about that in here. We're not going to go to playmaking to talk about it. So right here, obviously, post spin technician and dream shake, he's got both of these, which are very, very nice to have. So the fact that he's also got rise up on Hall of Fame is really good. And he's got heat seeker on Hall of Fame, hook specialist we already talked about because of deep hooks. And drop stepper obviously is still here. Back down punisher is still here, but he's got fearless finisher, heat seeker, posterizer, and he's got rise up as well. Put back boss is already there, obviously. Gold highlight film, which is okay, whatever. But yeah, it's just they want you to play post up with him, which is pretty much what they're setting him up to be, is sort of like a post up type of big that can also stretch out the floor with pick and pops and all that stuff. So this is a unique way to play whenever you are using this Jusuf Nurkic card, unless you are used to playing post up bigs in post scoring. So taking a look at playmaking now, with the 85 speed with ball, which is pretty decent for a 7-foot center, but also at the same time pretty low for this late in the game. With a 70 ball handling, so he's not going to be dribbling much at all. But an 87 pass accuracy, 80 pass vision, 88 passing IQ. So it's like pretty balanced, mediocre. Like a lot of this stuff has been pretty balanced out, if you ask me. Like literally just being able to shoot the mid range, being able to shoot up close, like pretty consistently, whatever. And having like it's still like pretty high, a 3-point rating. It's still pretty high, but it's also like pretty balanced if you consider everything else being in the 80s as well. And pretty much like your main stats pretty much just being up close and posting up and all that stuff. So if we take a look at the playmaking badges, obviously he's going to have break starter because he's a big man after all. Dimer, which surprises me a little bit. Downhill, which also surprises me a bit. We already talked about dream shake. Flashy passer, don't know how I feel about that. Needle threader, pretty good. You hear me talk about needle threader a lot. Hashtag maestro, whatever. We already talked about post spin. Quick first step on Hall of Fame is kind of insane to me, but unpluckable as well. You don't really need too much else. You really don't need ankle breaker, handles for days, Lob City passer, all this stuff. You don't really need any of this stuff because he's not going to be a main ball handling big, unlike, you know, somebody like Jaren Jackson Jr., who would be more of a ball handler than Jusuf Nurkic because he's got an 86 ball handling compared to Nurkic's 70 here. So he's got a 70, which is lower. Not going to be able to get really good dribble moves with him at all, so it doesn't matter. But playmaking wise, really, really good of a playmaker. That's why I consider this card like a more balanced type of card and more balanced type of player. Taking a look at this stuff as well, you know, if you want to have you know, any more badges onto him, there's really no point because it's still going to be pretty much the same thing. You can't really have ankle braces on him because he's a big man after all, which is weird considering that I think if I remember properly, Jaren Jackson Jr. Or no, ankle braces would be down here. Yeah, you would have to put it on, but it's just weird on how balanced he is. But it's just awkward. It's just completely awkward how balanced he is, and I like it. I honestly do like how balanced he is. It's pretty unique. It's pretty different. But athleticism, 85 speed, 85 acceleration, 85 vertical. So that's pretty much just defaulted out of the window. 96 strength, though. That's what we're talking about there with them trying to get you to post up with his strength. And his stamina is a 95 and 90 hustle. Some default stuff there. Don't really care about the hustle too much. I don't really care about the stamina. It's not like hustle means anything because it's not like the higher the hustle, the more you're able to get the ball from it going out of bounds. It doesn't matter, apparently, because it don't matter. But taking a look at the defense now, 89 interior, 80 perimeter defense. You know, some mediocre defense here, except for block and rebounding. Blocks and rebounding is pretty much going to be your main bet here, as well as interior defense. But looking at the badges here, really, really good badges. I love what I see. And then he's got gold clamps, so even though he doesn't have that high perimeter defense, he's still got the clamps. I like seeing the clamps. Reason why I like seeing clamps on a big, other than just so he can guard the perimeter, is also because if you have clamps, you have the ability to bump back people who are trying to drive around you, and it slows down players, which means that they're not able to get like a super fast start to where they can actually get a contact dunk animation, because you're bumping them back, you're slowing them down. So that's what I like to see. All these big man stuff, I would like to see Hall of Fame pogo stick. I honestly would like to see that. I would probably take Hall of Fame pogo stick over interceptor if this was the case, because it's not like you're going to be trying to get steals most of the time anyway with a 84 pass perception, 80 steal. But you don't really need anything else other than probably off-ball pass, because a lot of players will be running like stretch bigs that are able to drive in as well and dunk and do all this stuff, because Jusuf Nurkic is more balanced, and you'll be facing more athletic, more all-around type of players that are just dominant in multiple sections instead of just being balanced all around. So off-ball pass, maybe. Don't really need pickpocket, don't really need lightning reflexes. Taking a look at the next gen version, as I talked about, ankle braces as well. Ankle braces would be nice to have, just so you're not getting cooked on all that stuff. Clutch defender on gold as well, pretty nice. So yeah, I mean, this card is just really good all around. It's a really nice card. Let's see here. Obviously, putting on my coach for grind, giving him post moves, rebounding in the defense. So that's just really nice. And also, if you so choose to, he has Nikes, so which means, let's see here, not that one, you could do something like that if you so wanted to get vertical strength, get interior defense up to a 96, and you also get block increase, and you get your rebounding up to a 99. Like, well, I think it's already like a 99 even without it, so, well, it's a 98. But I mean, this would be pretty good as well, considering that it's like you also get the +3 to defense. That's if you wanted to play that way. So let's see what else was here. Could do not a lot of dunks here, or a lot of shoes here for like dunks, but you could do this one as well to get driving dunk, standing dunk, vertical, free throw, as well as speed with ball increased. So you could just mix and match however you so choose. But I mean, this is just a really good card all around. I love how well this card is. Like, I mean, it's not the best card in the world. A lot of people would just look at this card and just say, oh, this card is an L. A lot of people would be like, this card's okay, it's just whatever, so it's an N. But for me, this card is a W, just for how unique this card is. You don't really see cards like this. You just see a lot of cards that are just like super just great at like everything now, and you don't really see like a lot of cards that are just like balanced, that are like mediocre at everything. That gives you a chance to do a lot of things, but doesn't super excel at like a lot of things, with like, especially with a lot of cards being like, okay, you excel at these things, but you are still great at these things, just not as well. Like, you're pretty much balanced in these two other sections, but the other sections you are like excelling at. Sort of like DeAndre Miller that we talked about, him being more, or Bruce Bowen actually, being more of like a two-way sharpshooter type of player, more than him being like, you know, excellent at shooting and excellent at defense, but also great at finishing and playmaking and all that. So it's just completely different. It's a different type of play style, so I definitely do enjoy them giving us something a little bit different to play with in Jusuf Nurkic, and it's definitely interesting to see how he could play. But yeah, anyway guys, this card is a W for me just because of how interesting it is. That's gonna be it for me though on this one. If you guys liked this card, but if you also liked the video, hit that like button, hit that like button as hard as you can, you know, or else you won't get a million VC on next gen 2K22, whatever guys. But in all seriousness guys, hit the like button, go down to the comment section and give me your feedback in the comments, and hit that subscribe button. It's down there guys, it's red, it says subscribe. Hit it, make it turn gray, make it say subscribed. And also there's a bell, click the bell, click all, get all the notifications for this channel, never miss another upload. never miss another episode. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. As always, I'll talk to you all in the next one. Later, everybody.
Bitch, start tripping, now I'm blue. Mega man, I can't win for losing, cause I got too many haters, man. Used to be the paper boy, grew up now.